Transgenic organisms, also known as genetically modified organisms, GMOs, are living organisms whose genetic material has been altered using genetic engineering techniques. This manipulation involves the insertion of genes from one species into the DNA of another species, resulting in organisms with new traits or characteristics. The first transgenic plant, a tobacco plant resistant to antibiotics, was created in 1983. Since then, the field of transgenic organisms has rapidly advanced, with a wide range of applications in agriculture, medicine, and industry. One interesting fact about transgenic organisms is that they have been engineered to produce pharmaceutical drugs such as insulin and human growth hormone. This has revolutionized the production of these essential medications, making them more accessible and affordable for patients worldwide. In agriculture, transgenic crops have been developed to resist pests, diseases, and herbicides, leading to increased crop yields and reduced reliance on chemical pesticides. As of 2018, over 190 million hectares of transgenic crops were planted globally, with the United States, Brazil, and Argentina being the top producers. Transgenic organisms have also been used in environmental conservation efforts, such as the creation of genetically modified mosquitoes to combat the spread of diseases like malaria and Zika virus. These engineered mosquitoes have shown promising results in reducing disease transmission rates in affected regions. However, the use of transgenic organisms is not without controversy, as concerns about potential ecological impacts and long-term health effects on humans persist. It is essential to carefully evaluate the benefits and risks of transgenic organisms to ensure their responsible and sustainable use in various fields. Transgenic organisms have brought about numerous benefits for humans across various sectors. In agriculture, the use of genetically modified crops has significantly increased crop yields and reduced the need for chemical pesticides. For example, genetically modified Bt corn, which produces a protein toxic to certain insect pests, has led to a substantial decrease in insecticide use by farmers. In addition, transgenic crops like Roundup-ready soybeans, engineered to tolerate the herbicide glyphosate, have simplified weed control practices and increased efficiency in crop production. As of 2018, over 17 million farmers in 24 countries were cultivating transgenic crops, highlighting the widespread adoption of this technology. The medical field has also seen remarkable advancements through the use of transgenic organisms. One notable example is the production of recombinant insulin using genetically modified bacteria. This has revolutionized the treatment of diabetes, providing a safe and reliable source of insulin for millions of patients worldwide. Furthermore, transgenic animals have been engineered to produce valuable pharmaceutical proteins, such as human clotting factors and antibodies, which are used in the treatment of various diseases. The development of transgenic organisms has not only improved human health, but also contributed to environmental sustainability. In aquaculture, genetically modified salmon have been created to grow faster and more efficiently, reducing the pressure on wild fish populations. These transgenic salmon have the potential to address the growing demand for seafood while minimizing the environmental impact of traditional fish farming practices. Another fascinating application of transgenic organisms is in biofuel production. Genetically modified microorganisms such as algae and bacteria have been engineered to efficiently convert biomass into biofuels, offering a renewable and environmentally friendly alternative to fossil fuels. The use of transgenic organisms in biofuel production has the potential to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and mitigate climate change. Overall, the benefits of transgenic organisms for humans are vast and diverse, spanning from agriculture to medicine to environmental conservation. By harnessing the power of genetic engineering, scientists continue to unlock new possibilities for improving human health and well-being. While transgenic organisms offer numerous benefits, they also pose potential risks to human health that warrant careful consideration. One of the primary concerns surrounding genetically modified organisms, GMOs, is the potential for allergenicity. Genetic modification can introduce new proteins into food crops, which may trigger allergic reactions in sensitive individuals. For example, a study published in the Journal of Allergy and Clinical Immunology found that a transgenic soybean variety expressing a Brazil nut protein led to allergic reactions in individuals with nut allergies. This highlights the importance of thorough allergenicity testing before the commercialization of transgenic crops. Another risk associated with transgenic organisms is the potential for unintended effects on human health. Genetic engineering techniques can disrupt the natural genetic makeup of organisms, leading to unintended changes in gene expression or the production of toxic compounds. A study published in Environmental Health Perspectives reported that genetically modified beet corn contained higher levels of fumonazine, a mycotoxin linked to adverse health effects in humans. This underscores the need for comprehensive safety assessments to evaluate the potential health risks of transgenic organisms. In terms of numbers and statistics, a meta-analysis published in Critical Reviews in Food Science and Nutrition examined 21 studies on the safety of genetically modified crops and found that while most studies reported no adverse health effects, further long-term studies are needed to assess the potential risks of GMO consumption. Additionally, a survey conducted by the Pew Research Center revealed that 66% of Americans are concerned about the use of genetically modified foods, citing worries about potential health risks and environmental impacts. This public apprehension underscores the importance of transparent communication and regulatory oversight in the development and commercialization of transgenic organisms. The potential transfer of antibiotic resistance genes from transgenic organisms to human pathogens is another significant risk that has raised concerns among scientists and health experts. Antibiotic resistance is a global health crisis, and the spread of resistance genes through transgenic organisms could exacerbate this problem. A study published in The Lancet Infectious Diseases highlighted the potential for horizontal gene transfer between transgenic plants and bacteria, raising alarms about the unintended consequences of genetic modification. These findings emphasize the need for stringent regulations and monitoring of transgenic organisms to prevent the dissemination of antibiotic resistance genes in the environment. Overall, while transgenic organisms offer promising benefits, it is essential to address the potential risks they pose to human health through rigorous safety assessments, transparent communication, and responsible regulatory oversight. Transgenic organisms have demonstrated several benefits for ecology, offering innovative solutions to environmental challenges. One fascinating application of transgenic organisms is in the realm of bioremediation, where genetically modified plants and microorganisms are used to clean up contaminated soil and water. For example, transgenic poplar trees have been engineered to absorb and break down pollutants like trichloroethylene, a common industrial solvent. These super trees have shown promising results in remediation efforts, providing a sustainable and cost-effective solution to environmental pollution. In a study published in Environmental Science and Technology, researchers found that transgenic poplar trees were highly effective in removing trichloroethylene from contaminated groundwater, highlighting the potential of transgenic organisms in environmental cleanup. Another intriguing aspect of transgenic organisms is their role in conservation biology. Scientists have developed genetically modified mosquitoes to combat the spread of vector-borne diseases like malaria and dengue fever. These engineered mosquitoes are designed to carry a gene that suppresses the population of disease-carrying insects, reducing disease transmission rates in affected regions. A field trial conducted in Brazil using transgenic mosquitoes showed a significant reduction in the population of disease-carrying mosquitoes, offering a promising strategy for disease control. The use of transgenic organisms in conservation efforts extends beyond insects to endangered species as well. Researchers have explored the possibility of using genetically modified organisms to restore dwindling populations of threatened species. For instance, transgenic American chestnut trees have been developed to resist the invasive chestnut blight fungus, which decimated the native chestnut population in the early 20th century. By introducing disease-resistant genes into the trees, scientists aim to revive the once thriving American chestnut forests and promote biodiversity in the ecosystem. In terms of numbers and statistics, a study published in Nature Biotechnology estimated that the global market for bioremediation technologies, including transgenic organisms, is projected to reach $186.3 billion by 2025, driven by increasing environmental concerns and regulatory support for sustainable solutions. Additionally, a survey conducted by the International Union for Conservation of Nature, IUCN, revealed that 87% of conservation practitioners believe that genetic engineering technologies, including transgenic organisms, have the potential to contribute to species conservation and ecosystem restoration. These findings underscore the growing recognition of transgenic organisms as valuable tools in ecological restoration and environmental management. Overall, the benefits of transgenic organisms for ecology are vast and multifaceted, offering innovative solutions to pressing environmental challenges and fostering sustainable practices for the future. Transgenic organisms, while offering benefits in various fields, also present risks to ecological systems that must be carefully considered. One significant concern is the potential for gene flow from transgenic organisms to wild populations, leading to unintended consequences in natural ecosystems. For example, genetically modified crops engineered for herbicide resistance may transfer their resistance genes to weedy relatives, creating superweeds that are difficult to control. A study published in Ecology Letters found that transgenic oilseed rape plants can hybridize with wild mustard plants, resulting in the spread of herbicide resistance traits in the wild population. This highlights the importance of assessing the ecological impacts of transgenic organisms on native species and biodiversity. Another risk associated with transgenic organisms is the disruption of ecological interactions and food webs. Genetic modification can alter the nutritional content or toxicity of plants, affecting the interactions between herbivores, predators, and prey in ecosystems. A study published in Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences reported that genetically modified Bt corn, which produces insecticidal proteins, can impact non-target insect species and disrupt the balance of insect populations in agricultural landscapes. This disruption of natural ecological processes can have cascading effects on ecosystem dynamics and resilience. In terms of numbers and statistics, a meta-analysis published in Environmental Science and Pollution Research examined 27 studies on the environmental impacts of genetically modified crops and found that, while most studies reported no significant adverse effects on non-target organisms, further research is needed to assess the long-term consequences of transgenic organisms on biodiversity. Additionally, a survey conducted by the European Food Safety Authority, EFSA, revealed that 62% of Europeans are concerned about the potential environmental risks of genetically modified foods, highlighting public apprehension towards the ecological impacts of transgenic organisms. The spread of transgenic traits through horizontal gene transfer is another ecological risk associated with genetically modified organisms. Horizontal gene transfer occurs when genetic material is transferred between different species, potentially leading to the dissemination of transgenic traits in the environment. A study published in Environmental Biosafety Research demonstrated that transgenic DNA from genetically modified plants can persist in soil and be taken up by soil microorganisms, raising concerns about the unintended spread of transgenic traits in terrestrial ecosystems. These findings underscore the need for comprehensive monitoring and risk assessment of transgenic organisms to prevent unintended environmental consequences. Overall, the risks of transgenic organisms for ecology highlight the importance of evaluating their potential impacts on natural ecosystems and biodiversity to ensure the sustainable coexistence of genetically modified organisms with the environment. Regulation of transgenic organisms varies widely across countries and regions, reflecting diverse attitudes towards genetic engineering and biotechnology. In the European Union, genetically modified organisms, GMOs, are subject to strict regulations under the precautionary principle, which prioritizes environmental and human health protection. As of 2021, only a few GMO crops, such as insect-resistant maize and herbicide-tolerant soybeans, have been approved for cultivation in the EU, with stringent labeling and traceability requirements in place. In contrast, the United States follows a science-based regulatory approach, where GMOs are assessed based on their characteristics rather than the process used to create them. The U.S. Department of Agriculture, the Environmental Protection Agency, and the Food and Drug Administration oversee the regulation of GMOs, ensuring their safety for human consumption and environmental impact. Globally, the Cartagena Protocol on Biosafety, an international treaty under the Convention on Biological Diversity, aims to regulate the transboundary movement of GMOs and ensure their safe handling, transfer, and use. As of 2021, 172 countries are parties to the protocol, highlighting the widespread recognition of the need for international cooperation in managing transgenic organisms. Interesting statistics reveal that the global market for genetically modified seeds was valued at $21.6 billion in 2020, with the United States, Brazil, and Argentina being the top producers of GMO crops. Additionally, a survey conducted by the Pew Research Center found that 66% of Americans support mandatory labeling of genetically modified foods, indicating public interest in transparency and consumer choice. These regulatory frameworks and public attitudes shape the landscape of transgenic organism governance, balancing innovation with safety and sustainability. One fascinating case study of transgenic organisms is the development of golden rice, a genetically modified rice variety enriched with beta-carotene, a precursor of vitamin A. Vitamin A deficiency is a significant public health issue in many developing countries, leading to blindness and other health problems. Golden rice was engineered to address this nutritional deficiency by providing a sustainable source of vitamin A in rice, a staple food for millions of people. Field trials of golden rice in the Philippines and Bangladesh have shown promising results with increased levels of beta-carotene in the rice grains. Another compelling case study is the creation of transgenic papaya resistant to the papaya ring spot virus, PRSV. In the late 1990s, PRSV threatened the papaya industry in Hawaii, causing severe crop losses. Scientists developed a genetically modified papaya variety known as rainbow papaya, which is resistant to PRSV. The introduction of rainbow papaya saved the Hawaiian papaya industry from collapse and demonstrated the potential of transgenic organisms in combating plant diseases. In terms of numbers and statistics, a study published in Nature Biotechnology estimated that the global market for genetically modified crops reached $18.9 billion in 2020, driven by the adoption of transgenic varieties in agriculture. Additionally, a survey conducted by the International Service for the Acquisition of Agribiotech Applications, ISAAA, reported that 26 countries planted genetically modified crops in 2020, with the United States, Brazil, and Argentina being the top producers. These case studies exemplify the diverse applications of transgenic organisms in addressing critical challenges in agriculture and public health, showcasing the potential of genetic engineering to improve lives and promote sustainability. The future implications of transgenic organisms are vast and promising. Researchers are exploring the use of gene editing technologies such as CRISPR-Cas9 to develop precise and targeted genetic modifications in organisms. This approach allows for the creation of designer crops with enhanced nutritional content, improved yield, and resilience to environmental stressors. In the medical field, gene editing holds the potential for personalized medicine, where treatments are tailored to an individual's genetic makeup. According to a report by the World Health Organization, gene editing technologies are revolutionizing healthcare and offering new possibilities for treating genetic disorders. The global market for gene editing technologies is projected to reach $6.28 billion by 2027, reflecting the growing interest and investment in this field. In the ever-evolving landscape of transgenic organisms, gene editing technologies like CRISPR-Cas9 are paving the way for precise genetic modifications in agriculture and medicine. The global market for gene editing technologies is projected to reach $6.28 billion by 2027, reflecting the significant growth and potential of this field. With the development of designer crops and personalized medicine, the future implications of transgenic organisms are promising, offering solutions to pressing challenges in food security and healthcare. As researchers continue to explore the applications of genetic engineering, the possibilities for innovation and sustainability are endless. These advancements underscore the transformative power of transgenic organisms in shaping the future of agriculture, medicine, and environmental conservation.